This is difficult to be last after so many wonderful speeches. I have a problem. My friend Kathleen is there, and I've heard that I'm going to be in big trouble if I go over 4 minutes. But I found out that Paul Wilson went 15 minutes last year, and he's still a friend. I'm not too worried. If you want me to speak faster, Kathleen, I'll really speed up, okay? Honorary Chair Justin Chu, Dr. Franklin, Adam, Jonathan, fellow honorees, distinguished guests and friends, I'd like to begin by sincerely thanking Bonnie, not only for nominating me for this award, but for her presence here this evening, her very kind remarks a few minutes ago, her vision and determination as the president of this unique place of learning, and for her personal support, encouragement, and friendship. For being here with me this evening, I'd like to recognize and thank. I know this is going to take a couple of minutes, but I really, for me, it's important. Actually, can't see anyone over there anyway, it's too dark. I was going to ask a few people to stand up, but I'm going to recognize the following. Doug and Joanne Cole, and my sisters Ann and Mary and their spouses. And I want you to know that Ann and Mary and Doug and Joanne are all proud Trent alumni from way back when. Dr. Charles and Augusta Amoli. Now, Charles, I do want you to stand up because I want people to see you. Where are you there? Charles is a respected surgeon from Wingham, and he was in the first class in 1964. He was a Champlain Scholar and the very first African student who ever came to Trent. I'd like to recognize Mohammed Abbas Fazal, who's back here, who's from Tanzania. If you could just hold your applause, that'll speed things up. Right, Kathleen? And Philip Morgan over here, Phil. And this is a surprise here, he won't know I'm going to do this, but Joanne Browan, would you stand up just very quickly? These are three of the best of our recent alumni that I came to know very well when I was here as Uncle Paul. And Mohammed Abbas is going to be a surgeon someday. Phil's going to be a history professor. And Joanne, I think you're going to be a director of education in the school system, I'm pretty sure. We'll see. Kate Ramsey, who needs no introduction. Kate's wise and eminent service to our university in her quietly determined way is truly phenomenal. Pam and Gord Maitland, both are retired secondary school teachers from Lakefield. They taught in, well, it was Rhodesia when they were there. And they adopted their daughter there, and they've returned several times to see their extended family in Zimbabwe. Bill Byrick, a lot of you know Bill. He's the athletics director here at Trent, and I'm so happy that he's here this evening. And also that his iconic predecessor, Paul Wilson, is here, and you all know Paul. You just heard from him. Paul Wilson pointed out that only at Trent would somebody like me, who was a total non-athlete, be able to make friends with at least two athletic directors and a president who was a baseball player in her own right. Yeah. For the great friendship and support at all times, I want to thank all those wonderful people at Trent who just make the place the way it is, the quiet people in the background. And I had a whole list of people I was going to mention, but I won't. But I do want to single out my friends in Alumni House, the irreplaceable, that's a hard word, Tony, Tony Story and Kathleen Eason. Diane Lister, recently named as the Rom Foundation CEO, and her team, particularly Cindy and Richard, Sherry, Lee, Sylvia, John. I probably left some out, but they're also important. You've all done such a remarkable job of advancing this great university. And Diane, we miss you already. Dr. Michael Alcott, who's right here, and his colleagues in the Trent International Program, and the literally hundreds of inspiring young people from all over the globe who followed Jack Matthews to Trent. One example, only one, is Hamdi Bassir-Fay. Hamdi, would you like to just take a bow? Hamdi came to Trent and didn't speak English, and you can't stop him now. And I hope, Justin Chu, that you'll have a chance to meet Hamdi, because he was the Commissioner of Finance in the student government when he was still a student here at Trent, so you have a lot in common. I'd like to acknowledge my late parents, Lloyd and Helen Delaney, and former Ontario Premier William Davis, who was and still is, in many ways, a mentor, all of whom encouraged me to seek admission to Trent in the first place. When Trent only had 100 students and it was in Peterborough, it wasn't a place that everyone thought of going to, and I'm so glad I came. I really am. Whatever difference I've made in life, I owe in large part to important things that I learned from being here. I keep saying here, we're at the Golf and Country Club, aren't we? We're all pretending we're at Trent. Such as a questioning attitude, fairness, civility, inclusiveness, environmental awareness, a sincere respect for other faiths, a real pride in Canada and its institutions, the importance of the French fact, not only in Canada but in this part of Ontario, and not just enduring the French fact, but celebrating it. Great respect for our First Nations. I learned invaluable lessons from the founder of the Indigenous Studies program, the late Professor Kenneth Kidd and Harvey McHugh, and more recently from Professors Dan Longboat, and it's nice to see him here this evening, and Doug Williams. Most of my nieces and nephews, I'm proud to say, are Cree, and at least 2 of them are talking about coming to Trent, and I really hope they do. I also developed at Trent a love for Africa. Having African friends such as Charles Amoli profoundly changed me, and being accepted for a 2-year posting in Nigeria by the Trent CUSO Committee changed my life. I salute Trent's willingness to take a chance on people like me. Trent still admits young men and women who are academically at risk, and has proven time and time again that those decisions were not mistakes. Yeah, I guess that's another reason I feel so fortunate. I wasn't a jock and I wasn't a scholar, and somehow I managed to get through and things have gone well. So I'm glad that they accepted me. It was here that I learned the importance of having good teachers. For example, I remember with gratitude Professors Tom Simons, Marion Fry, Walter Pittman, Freddie Hagar, Dennis Smith, and Bruce Hodgins. All of these individuals that I just named are still with us, highlighting how incredibly young they must have been when we arrived here. On Friday morning, just yesterday, I met Professor Ray March in the Benedict Gathering Place. And I wondered again how it is that some of our profs from 1964 look younger today than some of us do. It's true, isn't it? Yeah. Before I came to Trent, I wanted to be a lawyer and a politician. Because of Trent, I became a teacher, and any success that I've had is due in large part to what I learned at Trent University from those who were my teachers. So if you know any of those people I named, I hope you'll pass on what I've said to them. Many others exemplify the Spirit of Trent Award far more than I do. But because of their modesty and where they live, you don't know about them. Every day, each demonstrates quietly and effectively values that are in harmony with everything that I mentioned earlier, and much more. There have been great changes at Trent during the past half-century, and yet some things haven't changed that much. Yesterday, I received a lovely note from Tom Simons, as honorary president of the Alumni Association. It arrived not through Her Majesty's post. It arrived by email. But it came as an attachment. I had to open it, and there it was with his distinctive signature on the bottom. I thought, how trend is that? I think you know what I'm getting at. I want to thank the Alumni Association for honoring me this evening, and all of you for letting me share these thoughts. I'm so proud to be an alumnus of Trent, and I'm optimistic about the university's future. 2 evenings ago, I sat on the bleachers of the Justin Chu Stadium, watching young lacrosse players from across the community playing their hearts out in an exhibition game for the crowd at the dedication ceremony. Later, as the daylight disappeared and thunderstorms threatened, I looked over at the magnificent new addition to the athletics building, and beyond that I could see my now aging Champlain College. What impressed me the most was the absolutely magnificent fireworks display high above the athletics field. And then it hit me. Only Trent would take on the challenge of putting on a fireworks display in front of the Chu family from Hong Kong, China, the very country that invented fireworks 2,000 years ago. I looked around and I saw joy and pride and confidence everywhere I looked. Our founders had vision and determination to make Trent a great university. All of us who care most about Trent still do, and many of those individuals are here this evening. Thank you again for this incredible honor and for a truly unforgettable evening. Merci. Megwich.